everyone, my name is Anne, welcome back to my channel. This is my fall/autumn TBR. I don't normally do seasonal TBR videos, but I really like autumn and Halloweeny spooky vibes, so I thought I would for this season. Whether or not I stick to them is a different matter because I have a lot going on, and I just recorded a video of books that I'm going to read by the end of the year, which you'll be seeing I think next week, and there's not much crossover on this list, which was a mistake. I do have some ambitions. I'm going to try my best to get to these, and I am excited for all of them, but I also have some goals that I made at the beginning of the year that I do need to kind of meet or try to meet, so we'll see how that goes. But for now, let me show you the books that I'm hoping to read this autumn. First of all, we have For the Wolf by Hannah Witten. This is a fantasy debut. Apparently it's quite dark, which is why I've put it on this TBR. I know that the cover gives off kind of wintry vibes, but I am thinking that because this is like a fantasy Red Riding Hood retelling, it might be a good one to read in autumn or late autumn going into winter, so that's why it's on my TBR. This one is about, you've probably heard of it, there are two sisters. One is for the wolf and one is for the throne, and this main character in this one is a second daughter, which means that she's made for the wolf, or kind of promised to the wolf. I need to stop saying wolf, oh my god. So I'm thinking that the world building in this one could be really good. I did read the first chapter and I was intrigued, so yeah, looking forward to reading this one. We also have A Marvelous Light. The sequel to this one comes out later on this year, I think in November maybe, or late October, and I need to recap this one for Recaptain, so I'm going to be reading this one very soon, and I might have to add it to my September TBR depending on when. I need to take it back to the library because this is a library book. I honestly have no idea what this one's about. I just know that it's a very popular book and a few of my friends have really loved it, which is why I want to read and recap it, just so that it kind of helps a few people out before they read the second book. I don't know if the second book is kind of like a companion novel or if it's a direct sequel, but I don't know, we'll see. I've got a few thriller books that I really want to read this autumn. Some of them are newer releases. I'm just waiting for them to come in from the library, so it might be a while, but I am hoping they'll come in October before I go away on holiday in November. We have The It Girl by Ruth Ware, which I haven't read yet. I got rejected for it on NetGalley and I didn't want to buy it myself because I'm a bit nervous about this one. It sounds a little bit different to Ruth Ware's other thriller books, and it's by a different publisher as well, and it makes me wonder why Ruth Ware didn't go with her original publisher, or if she's just trying something new with, I think, Simon & Schuster. So it makes me a little bit nervous. I might be reading too much into this, but I do want to give this one a go, and so I've requested it from the library and it should be here soonish. I'm 4th on the list, so hopefully soon. I also really want to read Daisy Darker, which is Alice Fina's new book. This is something that she's been working on for like 5 years now, and it sounds a little bit like The Guest List, I think, by Lucy Foley, which I really enjoyed. And I liked Alice Fina's other book that I read last year, the one about the guy who can't recognise faces. I can't remember what it was called, but that was good. So I'm hoping this one's going to be good as well. And again, I've requested from the library, but I'm number 12 on the list and there aren't too many copies of this one, so it might be a while before this one reaches me. And then we have Local Gone Missing by Fiona Barton, who's an author that I've read from before a few times, and I did like her books. I think her books were one of the first books that got me back into reading after my like 5-year slump or whatever it was. I don't think it was 5 years, I think it was more like 2. So I'm looking forward to reading this one. Again, I'm getting it from the library, but there's someone in front of me on the list and I think there's only 1 copy available or something, so I might be waiting a while. And then the last thriller book that I have on this list, I think, yeah, is Exiles by Jane Harper. This is coming out in Australia on the 20th of September, and I think I might be able to buy the ebook from Amazon rather than getting a physical copy from Waterstones, and because she's one of my favourite authors, I'm quite willing to do that because I love her books so much, and this is the last book in the Aaron Falk series. I think she's wrapping up his story finally after not really giving him any other books for quite a few years now, so I'm really looking forward to reading this one. I'm hoping to get my hands on it on the 20th when it comes out. If not, then I'll have to wait until January if I can't get the ebook for this one. And then I have some more physical books. There are quite a few. The first one is Dread Nation. So I've had this one from EW for years now and I still haven't read it. I just started it a few years ago when it was just being released, but I couldn't really get into it as an ebook. I think that might have been like the start of my ebook slump, but I bought a physical book because I did want to read it and recap it. This is a YA horror historical book about zombies post the Civil War. I don't know loads about the story, but I was really enjoying it when I was reading it in ebook format, so I'm looking forward to getting to this one. This will be a good one to read in October. I also have The City We Became by N.K. Jemisin because the sequel to this one's coming out this autumn and I do want to read and recap this one. Recapping books is the reason why I read a lot of books, because I know that they're popular and people do like to have a recap to remind them of what happened in the previous books in the series. I had actually picked this one up ages ago because I really enjoyed the 5th season by N.K. Jemisin and I have another one of hers on this list because I do need to get to it. I've heard this one is very different to this season, which is fine. All of her books seem to be very, very different from one another. And to be honest, I have no idea really what this one's about. Something about like a city having a soul and people having to protect it. But there's also like a tentacle on the cover, so I'm very, very confused by this. So I'm gonna give it a go. Let's see if I enjoy it. A book that I'm really, really interested in is The First Sister. I got this one from NetGalley a while back but didn't read it, and now the third book is coming out this autumn, so I do want to read this one and maybe if I love it get my hands on the sequels. This is a sci-fi book of some sort. I don't really know what it's about, but it's been getting a lot of hype recently on my Twitter feed, and it does sound really, really good from the kind of things people are sharing, which isn't necessarily like anything to do with the actual plot or characters, but just like the vibes. You know, you get vibes from Twitter about certain books. This one does sound really good, and again, it's quite short. It shouldn't take me too long to read. I'm really excited for it. One that I do need to read this week, as I am uploading this, is Kingdom of the Cursed. This is the sequel to Kingdom of the Wicked, and the third book, Kingdom of the Damned, I think it's got a red cover, is coming out in like a week and a half. So I do need to read this one ASAP and get a recap up on Recap Tins. I was waiting ages for my pre-order to come in. This one only arrived a couple of days ago and it was meant to arrive on the last week of August. Waterstones are having some issues. This is a kind of new adult paranormal fantasy series, I would say. The first book feels a little bit YA, but apparently this one is a lot darker. It's basically about a main character who is a witch and she starts meeting all the princes of hell and things are going on. I was about to spoil the first book for you, so be thankful that I restrained myself. But I'm hoping this is going to be a really good kind of spooky-ish read to get me into the mood for some of these other like horror books. I mentioned N.K. Jemisin earlier. The other book that I want to read by her is The Obelisk Gate. I reread the 5th season last week and enjoyed it again, so I'm looking forward to finally continuing on with the series because I've been meaning to do so for years. I can't remember when I first read the 5th season, but I think it was like 2019 maybe. So I do need to carry on with it and finally finish it off because it's been on my TBR for an embarrassing amount of time. And then the last book of this video, I think, no, I've got one more, is The Only Good Indians. I actually started this one this morning and I'm only 2 pages in, so I haven't read much of it, but that's why there's a bookmark in there. This is a horror book by Stephen Graham Jones, and I don't know much about it. I think like the spirit of an elk comes and haunts the people who killed it, maybe. The main characters are Native American, at least a main character is. I don't know if they all are. And if I enjoy this one, which I'm really hoping that I will, I'm going to read a couple more of Stephen Graham Jones's books and decide which one I think is best, because I really enjoy doing those projects. And he's been on my list for since last year, I think, and I just haven't gotten around to his books. And autumn, Halloween, sorry if you can hear the boiler, autumn and Halloween are the perfect time to read them, I think. So if I love this one or like it, then I'm also going to read My Heart is a Chainsaw and the other one that he released that I can't remember. There's The Last Final Girl and another one. The life of me, I cannot remember what it's called, but I will put the cover up. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to doing this challenge, seeing which one of his books I think is best. He has released a lot more books than just the ones I just mentioned, but I think these are the only traditionally published ones as far as I'm aware. So yeah, we'll see how this goes. And then finally, the book that I've been meaning to reread for ages and I just finally need to like make myself do it is Throne of Glass. So I started reading the series before it came out because I received an ARC of the first book and I didn't love it. All of my friends were giving it like 4 or 5 stars and I was kind of like, this is like barely a 3. But then I did carry on with the series because my friends were hyping it up, and by the time I got to the 3rd book, Heir of Fire, and the 4th book, which is Queen of Shadows, I was giving them 5 stars. It does get better as it goes along, but then I stopped and didn't carry on from Empire of Storms onwards because I got into my massive reading slump and booktubing slump and stuff, and my friends all sort of started to drift away. It was a very different era of the book community and book Twitter, so it kind of put me off carrying on with the series. But now I would really like to reread and continue on with it and finish it, even if I don't think I will love them nowadays, because I'm not sure I would. I just want to give it a go, and I want to finish this series because I've had them for years now and I haven't managed to do it, just because I'm a bit scared and intimidated to read them in case my old memories of them and my memories of talking with my friends about them and hyping them up and having WhatsApp chats and stuff, if those get ruined because I don't enjoy this series anymore, I'm going to be really sad. So I do want to give Throne of Glass a go at least this season, just to kind of start easing myself back into this. Maybe by my next video I will have reread the entire series and finished it, but don't hold me to that because it's enormous and I don't know, it's probably unachievable. I'm just trying to hype myself up. So this is my seasonal TBR plus a marvelous light. Let me know if you've read any of these, which ones you think I will enjoy. I have very, very high hopes for myself and I think I can do it. I'm quite excited for all of these, and they're all kind of like darker, horror-y sort of thriller books as well, so that really, really excites me. Let me know what you'll be reading this autumn in the comments down below, or spring if you're in the southern hemisphere. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll be back soon with another one. Bye.